Hi, this is Christian Cantrell, and I just wanted to do a quick informal review of the Nexus 7 tablet. I got this a couple of weeks ago at Google I/O. I went on vacation the following week after Google I/O and took it with me, so I have about a week of experience using it, and I've been very happy with it, so I thought I would just go over some of the highlights. I'll start with the tech specs here, just very quickly. 7-inch screen, obviously, 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. There's no camera on the back of the device. There's an 8 GB version or a 16 GB version, quad-core Tegra 3 processor, which has been very snappy, very impressive so far. Wireless options here, obviously Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The operating system is Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, which I've been very happy with. And there are, of course, several sensors: microphone, NFC, accelerometer, GPS, magnometer, and gyroscope. So the technical specifications are, I think, very complete. But I think that companies like Apple have taught us that tech specs are less important than the general experience of using the device. So let's get into the actual experience, which generally is very, very good. It's very fluid. I think that Jelly Bean has finally smoothed out a lot of the rough edges that at least I've always associated with Android. I use iOS devices and Android devices both on a regular basis, and clearly iOS devices are just more polished. But this is the first Android device I've used that feels every bit as polished as an iOS device. Part of that is the hardware, but part of that is also Jelly Bean. So I'm really looking forward to getting 4.1 on my other devices, and I've been very, very happy with the experience. You can see that it's very fluid, everything feels very quick. I was just using Chrome here to show you the specs, and I think that, if you've used Chrome on other Android devices, you've noticed probably that it's not nearly as smooth and fluid as Safari on iOS, but on this device it actually is. It really feels great. They've done an excellent job. So I really don't have any complaints about the performance at all. In fact, I've been very impressed. Here's an application I use frequently, Google Reader, and this application has traditionally been well, it hasn't been a great experience on any other Android device that I use. The scrolling has been sort of suboptimal, and you can see on this device it works really, really well. Here's another application I like a lot, Flipboard. Let's go back here and go through a couple of pages of topics here. We'll pick one, start going through it. You can see this performs really well. So the performance is really excellent. The battery life is great. I haven't timed it or anything. I haven't, really compared it to my iPad, but the battery life is good enough that I just haven't worried about it, which is nice. I mean, I haven't found myself, having to plug it in order to use it or anything like that. I've charged it just a few times since I've started using it, and I've been using it a fair bit. So the battery life seems really good. When you first turn the device on, you'll find that it's heavily oriented towards the Google Play Store. And in that respect, it's designed to compete with the Kindle Fire, both in terms of price and in terms of, sort of the revenue model around it, which is, essentially sell it at cost and make the money back on the ecosystem. That's fine. I've used the Google Play Store. I bought a couple of movies already. I'll probably continue to use that. I'm not opposed to it at all. But that's not really the experience I want out of a tablet. I want sort of a standard generic tablet that I can customize and use any way I want. So the first thing I did when I got it was I just deleted all of the ways in which they try to get you into the store, which fortunately are just implemented as widgets. So I just deleted everything on all of these home screens and started from scratch, and you just get a regular generic tablet. So when you turn it on, although it's going to look a lot like a Kindle Fire, just know those are all widgets. You can delete them all if you want to. They're convenient if that's what you want, but if you want more of a generic tablet experience, no problem. You can just get rid of that stuff. I would say probably the only complaint I have about the device, and it's not really even a complaint, is simply that I would like to be able to pay more money for a higher end version, which I know sounds probably a little bit strange, but I would like to be able to get a version of this device that has an HD camera on the back that I can use for taking video or for taking shots of slides during conferences, something with some 4G support. This is probably the first tablet I've ever used that I'd be willing to actually pay for some kind of wireless support for, simply because it's so portable, it's so light, and I find it so useful. This form factor is perfect. I like the 7-inch form factor because I can type with my thumbs on it very quickly, and it's when you take a full size iPad, the latest version of the iPad, and compare it to my 11-inch MacBook Air, they almost weigh about the same. It's just easier to carry the MacBook around than it is to carry the iPad around. So the 7-inch form factor really makes a lot of sense for me. It's easier to hold up when you're reading for long periods of time, which I do a lot of. I read all my books on these devices. So I hope that Google eventually comes out with a version that allows me to just pay a little bit more money and get a higher end version. I mean, I don't mind paying, $300 or $350 for, maybe even $400 for a really, really nice high end version of something like this. But I understand that they want to start off at a price point which is competitive with the Kindle Fire, which I think is really smart, at $200 for the 8 gig version, $250 for the 16 gig version. There's almost no reason not to get this device and at least give it a try. The price point is very, very aggressive. So I've been very happy with it. I love it. This is definitely a keeper. I'm going to be using it on a daily basis. If you have any questions about the device, post them in the comments and I'll try and answer them for you. Thanks for watching.